Hey guys, welcome to this video. So the code we're going to write today is for a selection sort algorithm inside of Java. So we take a bunch of different numbers inside of an array and then we sort it through the selection sort in ascending order like so. Right, so what exactly is the selection sort algorithm and what does it do? Well, let me tell you what it does. What it does is it iterates through every single number one by one, and then it takes the smallest number, puts it on one side, so it puts it on the right, and then it gets rid of this number, and then it continues again from the beginning. And there is a graphical representation of this already on YouTube, and I'm gonna show that for just a few seconds. As you can see in this video, it's going through it's going through the entire array every single time. It's looking for the smallest number and it's putting it on one side. It's putting it on the left side in this example, but in the one I'm doing, I'm putting it on the right side. It doesn't really matter, it just puts it into one place. And we can do that here as well with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's iterate over it. Which is the smallest number. 2 is the smallest number, so we're gonna remove that, and then we're gonna put it here. Then we go through it again, and 3 is the smallest number, so we put it here. And then 4 is smallest, so we put it here. And then in the end 5 is smallest, so we put it here. So this is what the selection sort algorithm is. It just looks for the smallest number every single time, or you could also look for the highest number, whichever you set your preference to, and it just takes that number, puts it into one side, and then continues iterating over it, looking for the smallest number again. What I also forgot to explain is that in this tutorial, instead of putting off the smallest number, for example, instead of putting number into the right side, we're going to take the smallest number, we're going to swap it with whatever iteration that we're on. So we're going to take 1, we're going to put it where 5 is, we're going to take 5 and put it into where 1 is, and then we're going to continue iterating through here like that. And then after the next numbers are swapped, iterate through like that, and then after the next numbers are swapped, iterate through like that. Right, so now let's get started in writing down this selection sort algorithm. Right now, I open up a new Java class, and right now I just have the main method and also the sort method. And what sort does, it takes in an integer as arguments and it returns an integer. So let's go ahead and get started. Since we already have the sort method written down, what I want to do is I want to feed a variable into it. I want to feed an array into it and also get an array back. And so I'm going to create a new array called test. Inside of test, I'm just going to put in random different integer values. And here is the exact number that we want to sort. So this is good enough. So we have a bunch of different numbers there. And so if I run this, nothing's really going to happen. So if I run this, there's nothing here that shows up. I want to see what happens if I put into the sort method, so I'm going to do test is equal to sort test. Now if I run this, there's also still going to be nothing because we didn't really put anything out. So I'm going to print out the values that we got back from the sorting. So I'm going to do for int I in test, and then I'm going to do give me back the values by doing print line and then print test, print I actually. So if I run this now, and in order for me to write that really fast, there's like a shortcut on my keyboard that lets me just do print line. It's the only shortcut I know for writing code. So just because print line takes like a little bit to write, I just type in SOUT and then I press tab and it taps it automatically. And here we have the numbers sorted like this. So 213, 91, 23, and so on. You just have a bunch of different numbers and not in any sort order whatsoever. So what we want to do is we want to sort each one now, and so we want this to be 1, 3, 23, 91, 213, 811, 123, and 822 in the correct order. So that's the correct order. We want that to be the final result. So that's what we're going to do here, and let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go into the sort method now, and I'm just going to write a for loop. So for int I is equal to 0, while I is less than args not length, while I is less than everything inside of the argument. We're just going to do we're just going to print I plus 1. Again, if we run this, it might actually be an error because that's blank. Well, there's no error, but there's nothing that happens. Nothing happens yet. Alright, so what I want to do here is actually want to iterate again and find the smallest number, but first I'm going to set the minimum to whatever is the first value that we come across. So int min is equal to args I. Well, what I want to do is I want to sort of have like a variable where I can replace it with a new minimum number once I iterate over it. So right now I'm just setting a minimum number, which will just be the default whatever number it's starting on. And so int min equals to I, and int min index is equal to equals to I. So I just want to grab the index as well, just so I can know what location it's at. Now we're going to write another for loop. We're going to create a new variable called n, and we're just going to set this equal to I, while n is less than args length n plus plus. So the reason we're setting n equal to I is because I will increment by 1 every single time. Since we're gonna be replacing the lower values with the new minimum, we don't want to continue iterating over the same exact numbers over again. So what we do is for let's say I is equal to 0, I is going to be the new minimum, and we're basically going to swap like these two numbers together. So this is the first number, we're going to iterate over it, look for the minimum, take the minimum number that we find, put it into the I position, take this old I position, put it into this one, and then we iterate with the next number going down. So this is going to be new 1, this is going to be 2, 1, 3, it's going to iterate through again, it's going to find 3, it's going to take 3, swap it with 91, and then 91 will be down here, and 1, 3, and so on. And that's going to be the order of what happens. So for int n equals to I, if args n is less than the min, we're gonna do min is equal to args n. So we're just setting the new minimum. We're also gonna get the minimum index. Min index is equal to n. We want the min index because we want to know what location it's at. We want to know both the location and the value. Technically, if you have one, you have the other. If you have the index, you have the other. And if there's no duplicates, if you have the min number, you have the index as well. But this is just easier if we put into two separate variables. You can always just make that one variable if you want to. But in this example, we're going to do this. So if args n equals min, we're going to do that. And it just goes in this for loop. We don't really want to do anything else inside the for loop. Maybe just print n, but we're not really debugging it or anything right now, so we're just going to go through that. So I'm going to go with the next line. And so once we find the index and the minimum value, we're going to take the index, we're going to take this number, we'll put it into the first one, and then replace. We're going to swap the two numbers basically. So that's the next step, is just swapping these two. Put 2, 1, 3 into this position, put 1 into that position. So for this one, I'm going to create a new temporary number. So int temp is going to be args I, because this is going to be the very first position. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to place this number min into that number. Okay, so we're going to do args I, okay, is equal to min, and then we're going to do min index is equal to temp. So this is the exact algorithm for this. And once we run this, everything is already going to get sorted. So let's go ahead and just run this. And there you go. This is the selection sort algorithm. I hope that made sense. Everything here got sorted. It really happened in this last part right here where we just swapped the two, but this, you guys understand what happens when we run through this. So I hope I explained it well enough, what my thought process was. And the reason why we create 3 variables is so we can have 3 different variables so we can swap them together, because we need to create a temporary placeholder for the first value, and then we need to swap the values, and then we need to take the temporary placeholder, place it in the old index area. So I hope that made sense. And yeah, this is the entire video, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you learned something, post them down in the comments below. If you have any questions or comments or anything, post them in the comments. Leave a like, and also be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. There will be more tutorials like this to come. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.